I'm Judy Stiles. Thank you for joining us this week on Newsmakers. Well, school is well underway throughout the community, and Joplin High School has had a very busy fall start of the school year. Joining me today, the principal of the school, Dr. Kerry Sachetta. Thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me.
A couple months into the school year now, people ask you, how are things going in Joplin at the high school? What's your reaction?
Well, things are going better every week. You know, it was a difficult decision to put off school for a week, and I think it was the right decision. I think the teachers had time to get acclimated to the building. It helped us a lot, make sure that some things were done so we could have school. Different rooms are coming online or different things in the building, but we function pretty well, and I think we're looking forward to the full completion of the building soon.
Of course, the building has been the topic and discussion throughout town. You recently had the ribbon cutting, the official dedication of the building, and we had a student who had the opportunity to take some video. So I think people are curious, what's the building like if they haven't been able to see it? Maybe we can share some views while we're talking today.
Well, that'd be great, and help explain what goes on in the building and some of the things they're seeing. We do want the community to come in and see the building, whether it be a game or activity or whatever. We welcome everybody to come in, and hopefully we'll have some more times that'll be more formalized that people can come in and see the building.
Great. Okay, so we have some video, and this is the view as you drive in off of Indiana then.
Yeah, this is the main entrance to Joplin High School. As you can see the sign overhead there, and that's what we call Building C right in the middle there. There's several buildings all the way down to J. At the Franklin Tech side, we start with the auditorium on Indiana and work south. And here's a shot of the gym. It's a 2,500 seat arena type style, top load arena as they call it, gymnasium. You can see the big white panels up above there. There's some things that are going to be finished on those, pictures of timelines of old championship teams and athletes. So there's a lot of things to come yet for decor. This is a shot of the cafeteria. The cafeteria upstairs, second floor, seats about 400 students, and then below that in Eagle Alley we have about another 125 we can serve for lunch.
Plenty of room for lunch.
Yeah, plenty of room. This is one of the fitness rooms we have. We have two fitness rooms over in the gym. This is the upstairs fitness room with more of the cardio and those kind of machines. This is a shot of JoJo's Coffee Shop. We started the coffee shop back at the mall campus, and it was very popular with the students, and this has done very well for us. And it really kind of gives a marketplace type atmosphere down in the common area called Eagle Alley that we
the students who are interested in business still help run this?
Oh yeah, and the business classrooms are right behind it with glass, and you can see right into the coffee shop.
So
and right into
hands-on learning.
Yeah, exactly. Think Tank, we have these all over the building. We had very good success with them at the mall campus. We like them. They're transparent. They're not scheduled. Students can go in there and work. Adults can go in there and work with students. You can have meetings between adults and teachers and kids or so on, or parents that come in. So they're very nice to have those for collaborative spaces. Yeah.
Now here's one of your classrooms.
Here's one of the science classrooms, one of the many we have, and the labs, and a good shot of the second floor of the library. The library is on second and third floor of the building, so it's a two-story library. And we're really pretty blessed to be able to get all of our books in that library. We have about 18 to 20,000 books and a good assortment for the students.
So it's built to fit their materials. Yeah. Now here's Tornado Safe Room. You have a number of those.
We have 5 of those. One more coming on when the auditorium comes online, and that will also be a community safe room as well. We should easily fit between 4,000 and 4,500 people in all the safe rooms and everything as far as the school is concerned with the surrounding area. A shot of the Jet 14 area with another think tank down that area, so we've got it branded down there so people know. And in what we call B Hall, where the TV studio is as well, there's a lot of arts and communications type courses in that area.
So they're grouped together.
They're grouped together, and we tried to cluster those folks together because there's so much that goes on between journalism, TV productions, art, even business and so on. We had good success with that at the mall campus, so we continue that.
And we can see some of the equipment they're able to use, so they're using state-of-the-art equipment in their facilities.
Very much so, and now they also have an audio lab and an audio studio, so we're excited about that. Maybe somewhere down the road, some radio type productions, but at least to be able to have a recording studio type atmosphere and be able to work with our students and record music or whatever it is.
Set up here for performances.
Yep, whatever we want to do, and so that's something from the Jet 14 side and the audio, the television side, to be able to branch out in the audio that we're excited about.
And of course, Franklin Tech is part of your facility, so we have the Franklin Tech facility.
Very much so. I think proximity, wherever we went, proximity meant a lot when it comes to kids seeing and being able to experience other other programs and to be able to get interested in them. You know, we want our freshmen and sophomores to be able to walk by these labs and see what's going on there and get energized, get excited about what goes on. And this is another example. There's a welding technology lab. We have 5 very large labs down that area: welding, HVAC, construction trades, and then auto tech and auto body. And so we want our kids, when they come to school, you know, kids get dropped off either on the Franklin Tech side or the Joplin High side. We want them to walk by those classrooms and really think about what that might mean to their future while they're in high school.
And you have the state-of-the-art equipment, the hands-on application in those areas as well.
They really do, and also there are adult programs that run at night as well, as we have in the past. But Franklin Tech's had a very good program for many, many years, and we're excited about putting a comprehensive high school and a career center together so that we can help kids make decisions, better decisions for them in high school and then down the road.
Right, there's many paths they can take after high school in the Franklin Tech area as well. And then of course the outside area, and you have some parking, you have bus drop-off separate from the passenger or the drop-off. You separated those.
Exactly. That's probably one of our athletic buses picking up kids there in that scene, but after school. But most of the bus drop-off and pickup is in the very back of the school on Grand Street. But we have parking lots right in front of Franklin Tech on the south end of the property, and then right in front of Joplin High, more on the north end of the property.
Great. So if someone's looking for the office, they want to go to the school, which building should they look for?
Well, it depends on which office they're looking for. If they're looking for the Franklin Tech office, they want to go down to the south end of the property, that scene that we just saw right there, and they can park right in front if they need to do business with Franklin Tech or talk to one of the administrators or teachers down there. If most folks, especially the younger students, they might want to come in on the Joplin High side because most of their business will be done down there with one of the administrators or counselors or teachers down on that end. That would be on the north end of the property of the Indiana
So
side.
the area where we saw the Joplin High School wording on the wall basically will lead them to the office area.
They can't go wrong on either side of the property. They can get to where they want to go. They may have a little bit of a walk.
Right. Well, good fitness. And of course, a lot of people talk about the size of the school. It is a very large school, but accommodating the students that you have, the population?
I think so, very well. I think the 3 levels on the northern half of the building serve us very well for concentration of students, so that we're not too concentrated, so to speak. You know, in the old high school, we overgrew it, and the old way of building schools with very narrow hallways, tile floors, lockers on either side, very straight, very institutional-like, served us well for many years. But I think now with what we're trying to ask kids to do in and outside the classroom, working in groups, working collaboratively, teachers working flexible with the space that they have, I think the new high schools is going to serve us very well for a long time. The kids are on 3 levels. You know, when you come in from Grand, you come in on level 2.
Okay.
But if you come in from Indiana, you come in on the ground.
It's built into this hill.
It's built into the hill, and you come in on the ground level. And then I think the traffic patterns work very well with that, with the sky bridges. They're wide. They're about 16, 17 foot wide. So there really isn't very much opportunity for crowding in the school, which is good. There's plenty of space. The gym is separated enough by another sky bridge and the rose garden in between. It's really a beautiful campus. I mean, there's just a lot of amenities to the campus that make it different, special, and that I think the community will be happy too when they come in and they see how the kids are utilizing it, and then also, you know, when we have community events at the building.
Right. And what about the enrollment numbers right now for the high school?
We're sitting about 2,160 students. We were a little bit around 2,200 students right at the beginning of school, but by the time kids transfer in and transfer out, and we settled on about 2,160. So our numbers are back to where they were before the storm. So we're excited about that. And we built the building to house as many as 2,500 to 2,600 students. So we have room for growth.
Room for growth
easily.
To handle the students for the future growth and so forth. Well, the facilities, you have 4 grades together now for the first time in a number of years. Do you have the 3 floors? Are they organized by grade levels? You know, people might be curious, do the freshmen have classes concentrated together? Or how does that
Well, we did. That was our goal. One of the things that we noticed in the split campus is we did have some I think kids dealt with the split campus a lot better than what people would have given credit for, but also we noticed a lot of our behavior referrals went down, discipline referrals. So what we decided to do was put primarily, not exclusively, but primarily 9th and 10th grade campuses on the 3rd floor, 11th and 12th grade campuses on the 2nd floor. It's not exclusive, but a lot of concentration that way. So we have them separated a little bit, but of course they go down to the gym and they have gym together,
interact
or
in same classes,
or cafeteria or whatever. So, but it just helps kind of separate the students a little bit, and gives them a little bit of time to be with kids more their own age at certain periods of the day. And plus in our transitions class, they have that time to be with kids their own age.
And you mentioned the arts area where you had the interest. You have hallways that have certain interests, like the English classes together, the history classes together, and on those lines.
Yeah, and what we tried to do also is we're trying to do more with interdisciplinary type activities. So if a social studies teacher and English class want to work together on something, they might be across the hall. We do have 5 large, what we call interdisciplinary classrooms. And what they are is one big classroom that can be separated into 2 with an accordion type wall,
Right.
you know, a movable wall. So we have that, and we're utilizing that as trying to make sure that kids see the tie-in between different courses. And also just putting different teachers from different disciplines near each other. We just felt really good about what happened at the 11-12 campus, and even at the 9-10 campus when we mixed teachers around a little bit, because a lot of things that we do, you know, we teach kids, we tend to teach them in certain classes during the day, and then we send them to another class. And you know, we all know when we work in business or we work in industry or you know, even here in a TV studio, you're bringing in skills from all different kinds of areas. So we're trying to make that more apparent for the students.
So they can see how things overlap and all tie together.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
You mentioned the 11-12 campus that you had. Did you take a lot of the things that you observed and learned from that campus in designing this building? That's kind of a test model over there that we can make these things work in a big building.
That's the perfect way to put it. It was a test model. It was a pilot for us. That was one of the things we said when we built it. You know, during the 2 or 3 week design process, which is hard to believe, that's all we took, right after the storm. The architects and we worked 24 hours a day, really. I mean, they were drawing around the clock, and we had people coming in constantly, whether it be parents, teachers, students, administrators, counselors, you name it. Everybody that was affected in that 90,000 square foot building, we had them coming in and looking at the ideas and the designs that the architects came up with before we made those decisions. And I can safely say, with the exception of 2 or 3 little things that we wish would have changed, I wouldn't have done it any different. I mean, the 95, 98% of what we did and the design that we came up with is what we wanted based on the conversations we had and what we were trying to get out of a 90,000 square foot building. And we use those design concepts with hallways, different size hallways, collaborative spaces, TVs and monitors, and everything we could interact with the laptops and everything. And we were very happy with the results that we got out there. So we brought those into this design, and there's no question you can see the tie into the mall campus with this campus.
So some familiarity for some of the students who were at the other facility. You mentioned the laptops, and I know prior to the storm, people were talking about 21st century learning. People were thinking in terms of computers. That's carried over to the new facility, the students and their laptop use and technology.
It has, and we all of our students carry a laptop around with them, and they're all plugged in all day long. You know, we've got our control system and security systems in there in place as well, but it gives the kids an opportunity to have the world at their fingertips, and the teachers especially, you know, as they're working with students and trying to help them learn and solve problems. I mean, that's the whole thing right now. You know, we just don't want to do the old worksheets every day and those kind of things like maybe we did in the old days. We're trying to expand way more and solve more problems, solve more real life problems, and use good learning techniques that we've had from the past too at the same time.
Right. So one of the steps in curriculum changes, I know you've taken some major steps that were being discussed, talking about career paths and getting the students and the community, I guess, to think differently about what expectations are in high school and what you're going to come out with at the end.
Right. I think one of the things, you know, we had some architects that were in today and they were visiting the school, and I was trying to relay to them. I'm really proud of the fact that as we went through the process, before we actually designed the physical space of the school, we actually went through the process of what do we want the school to be like, whether, you know, regardless of what kind of building we're in.
What are the learning goals?
What are the learning goals? What is it that we're trying to accomplish? Obviously, we want to improve academic achievement. That was number one. To make sure that we embed more rigor and relevance at the same time into the curriculum. You know, we did a lot of training with that. We had a lot of community, roundtable type with community members, groups and activities where we sat and talked, and we brought industry people in and said, what do we want our students to be like? You know, we developed a mission and vision statement to make sure that we took care of those. But we also tried to figure out how could we mesh career ed and comprehensive education and kind of blur that line, so to speak, so that kids could feel like they were in a more real world or more relevant place all the time, and that maybe school could feel different. I think when you walk into our school, it has more of a collegial or a business feel to it rather than an institutional school that maybe we all went to. And so all those things were talked about in terms of even the schedule. You know, we built Wednesdays and Thursdays so that kids could have 90 minutes to a class rather than 45 or 47 minutes. So that there's things that could happen in the class due to time. So we talked about all those things. And I'm really proud of what we came up with. You know, I think there were a lot of people involved. I know there were a lot of people involved and had some opinions and decision making, from students to community members to parents to teachers. And like I said, industry folks alike. And those kinds of decisions in that field, what we wanted, informed the architects, informed the construction company, informed what we would want that to operate like. And I think from my viewpoint, my vantage point, from being around at the beginning when we were just talking about it, and down to what we're wanting our kids to be able to come out with and do, and the rigorous activities that we want them to get involved in, and then how it operates and how it functions, and to see kids and teachers work together.
You got to put all the nuts and bolts together.
Yeah,
right?
I think, I can't say right now we're where we want to be, of course, because we're just learning how to
Still
utilize the building.
right?
Yeah. And embedding some new courses and learning more about what we're doing. But I think in the next couple, 3 years, we're all going to be extremely proud of what the output is. Just really operating at full capacity, so to speak, with everything that we put in place, down to the transitions course and all the more advisory type activities that we're doing.
Of course, I know when we hear about goals, the school district has always had, we want to increase the graduation rate, but going beyond the numbers of graduates, you want the types of graduates being affected. That's
a good point. We want our kids to walk out with more knowledge of what they want to do in life. We want our kids to walk out with a better education and to achieve better. That's our goal. We talk about our building skill improvement goals every year, especially when it comes to tests and standardized tests and so on, state assessments. And then with MSIP, Missouri School Improvement Process in Missouri, we have a lot of bigger emphasis than ever on college and career, whether it be taking the ACT, the SAT, or the Compass test, and then what are the kids doing after high school. So we felt like that being able to combine college and career type activities more, that we would kind of whet the appetite, so to speak, of some of our students and help educate them on what they want to do, whether it's go right into the workforce or college or prepare. And we just want to do a better job all the way around in that regard.
Well, I know we have a graphic that shows the career paths, and people of yours, you have heard this terminology, and really this helps to show the different areas that you have for the students to explore.
It does. We settled on 5 career paths. Some schools, they will decide to take a path, for instance, and they will segregate part of their school, and those are called career academies. And we looked at career academies real closely, and there's a lot of merit to what they do in career academies. But we felt like, because we're a comprehensive high school in a community, and we didn't have a lot of feeder schools, it wasn't like we had 5 high schools in our community with one school that could be devoted to a career path approach. We felt like it would be better for us to go down with paths rather than the academy approach, and that's why we settled on this. So what we've tried to do with our paths is try to do a much better job of educating our students when they're in middle school, before they come to high school. Once they get into high school, in this new course called Transitions that we have, it's an advisory program. It's got a very comprehensive guidance piece to it. It's being developed as we go. We're developing it as we implement it this year at each grade level. So 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th and 12th all get a little different type curriculum through that class based on where they are in high school, what their choices are, and what their interests are.
So it progresses as they progress.
It progresses as they progress. And what we want the kids to do is be very, very educated about these programs we have. We want them to walk by those classes. We want them to ask questions. We want them to talk to the instructors. And we want them to realize that when they take some of these tests like the Aspire or the Plan test from ACT, when they do those career interest surveys, based on how they answer those questions and how people feel about them, their friends, their parents, what people tell them, and what we expose them to, whether it be internships, job shadowing, or other kind of field trips or activities at school, that they really understand where they fit in the career path. And that's what we want to do a better job of. As we talked earlier, we want our guidance component, our guidance department, to have a better opportunity all the time to affect what kids are thinking about and to help parents, educate parents at the same time about their student.
So you're really increasing the role of the guidance department instead of just being, I'll talk to you and tell about courses to take. It's interacting with the students and helping them plan their future.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Our counselors, they work very hard. They see a lot of kids. Well, this is a chance for them to get what they want to do more often, more frequently out in front of the students.
And it sounds like perhaps a key to success is that preparation before they even get to your school, the middle schools, getting the students thinking before they reach the high school.
True. Very true. They started some things in the middle school. They put the web program in there that's very similar to our Fusion and Link Crew type program at the high school, where We changed the name of Link Crew to Fusion this year. We've made it more of our own program, and we're doing some different things with mentoring students. And with their advisory programs at the middle schools, what we're hearing is they're moving more that direction too, to help bridge the gap with the high school as far as educating the students at a younger age. Just keep it out in front, thinking about them. We don't want them to have to think that they have to make a decision, but we want them to be very informed all the time.
So there's flexibility in the system. If someone sees those paths and says, well, what if my child decides they no longer want health, they want to move over to the arts? They can still do that within the 4 years they're in school.
They can do that in the 4 years they're in school, and there's a lot of times that we all know kids who are adults after they graduated have told us, you know, I took this one class and this one teacher inspired me and I never thought about it and I just ended up there by chance and I really like that. So I want to pursue that in college, or I want to go get a job related to that before I start college or whatever. So we want that flexibility for the kids.
And of course, with the career paths, you still have the basic core curriculum. People may be wondering, you're still teaching the math and the English and the science and so forth.
That does not go away. I mean, you know, we're tested on those areas, and it's very important for our kids to compete in those areas, and they've got to do well in those areas to do well in the ACT, SAT, and other exams, and we want our kids to be able to compete with the best kids from all across the nation. So that's very important to us.
You mentioned the ACT, and I know the state of Missouri is going to have juniors across the state take that test as part of across the board.
Right. This year is the first year all the juniors in the state of Missouri are going to take the exam, and I believe it's April 28th. We're trying to figure out now exactly how we're going to do that. We're going to make sure that we create the best testing environment. And I know every school is challenged a little bit to a certain degree based on their facility. We feel like we can do it pretty well right now with our brand new high school,
facility,
and 3 different levels of students, you know, as far as the floors are concerned. So we can segregate our student body off in different parts of the building and have a good testing atmosphere. So, and with flexible classrooms and larger areas, we feel like we can accommodate students very well.
You mentioned college preparation. I know I've heard more about the preparation through dual credit and AP classes at the high school, encouraging the students to take advantage of college level courses while they're still in school.
We always had a good, what I would call a good distribution of advanced placement and dual credit courses, but it just got better. Crowder is working with Franklin Tech on embedding some technology-based, dual credit programs, and we have a very good relationship with Missouri Southern. Really appreciate our work with them and helping us expand offerings, even as much as a staff member coming on staff or on site at Joplin High from Missouri Southern and teaching a class for us. We welcome that, and so we feel like from on the core education side and the regular education side at the college level that we all constantly want to look at opportunities to partner with Missouri Southern, and with Franklin Tech also now offering dual credit. We're expanded to about 43 different courses between dual credit courses that we can offer. So we have a lot of opportunities. So if a kid can't find at least one course to get ready to go to college, then we're not doing a very good job helping them.
And from a student perspective, that really helps them when they enter college already with the credits and classes that they don't have to take as a starting student in college.
We want them to have a chance. And you know, we have an Innovation Campus program right now that we partnered with both Missouri Southern Crowder and Joplin Chamber of Commerce and Franklin Tech, and it's given the opportunity to kids who may not be able to take that first step because of family situation or whatever to pay for dual credit courses in high school. And so we had a $950,000 grant, almost $1 million, and we've got that much money to give away to students over the course of however many years it takes that qualify and meet those qualifications. And we have one of our counselors that's devoting her time and working with those students, and we have a lot of kids that's now taking classes, college level classes in high school that probably wouldn't have, in many cases, ever even thought about going to college because they just weren't ready, or they weren't sure, or they didn't know how to get started, and now they're taking those classes and they're doing well, and their confidence level to go to college. So, you know, having the university here in our backyard is a great benefit to our students.
You're preparing better college students for the future, for the community as well.
That's our goal.
You've mentioned community a number of times, community support being vital. I know you have the role the community played in helping the rebuilding, but the community sounds like it's still an important role with providing feedback, getting involved in your programs with volunteers and things.
It is. We have advisory meetings coming up next week on Monday. All of our areas, not just the Franklin Tech technical sciences areas, are going to have advisory groups. Our arts and communication group will have an advisory group. Our health sciences obviously will have one. Human services will have an advisory group. So we're going to have a big meeting and a big luncheon on Monday. We're going to get those folks in, and we want them to know that we want them in our school. We want to partner with them. We want our kids to be able to go out to their businesses or their organizations and learn internships, job shadowing. We want those opportunities so that kids can have more chances and more opportunities to, determine what they want to do and open their eyes up to what's in the community. We're also trying to get more input from them on our curriculum. Are there courses that we need to think about offering? Are there things that we need to think about that we haven't thought about, or come in and look at some of the things that we're doing? And are we getting kids ready from the projects and activities to help them do things that are real life in your business? So all those kinds of opportunities for help and support are important to us.
And early in the program you mentioned just the community being welcomed at the high school, the fact that the school is not just for the students and the teachers, it's part of the Joplin community. You are encouraging community members who may not have any ties with the schools to come over and see what you have and to get involved.
Oh, certainly. And we also have community education programs. So not only can people come and see the facility or be a part of some of our activities, but we also have community education programs that we're opening up the whole building, not just the Franklin Tech side. Franklin Tech always had a good community education program at night for adults. But now with art and family and consumer sciences are in the building, and even the gymnasium eventually, we're going to open up the building through those community ed programs so people can access it and hopefully enjoy the facility just like our kids do during the day.
If people are looking for information, you have a website specifically for the high school?
Yes, joplineagles.org, www.joplineagles.org. You can go on there and you can find pretty much most things that you want. If there's something on there we need to put on there, and give me an email and we'll
find out that information.
We'll put it on there.
Well, as you look down the road, we're the first year in the new facility, but long term, what are your main goals you would like to see? As we talk a year from now, what have you accomplished that first year in the new facility, trying to take this new approach to curriculum?
Well, I hope honestly our first year that we do see our student achievement improve. Graduation rate, all those things, all those indicators that we all look at, the state looks at. But also when the kids walk across at graduation, the first thing I want to hear is, and I shake hands with every kid that walks across the stage. It's my last chance to say congratulations and good luck, just like all of our principals. And I want them to be happy. I want them to say, hopefully have a chance for them to hear from them that I really enjoyed my high school experience. It was worth waiting for. The new high school was worth waiting for. I got to learn, or I got to be a part of a program or an activity or whatever that helped me make decisions for the future. I mean, that's really what we're here for. We're here for graduation. We're here for smiles at graduation. We're here for success after graduation. And so I think if we continue to look at that in everything that we do, and then we also see it as far as the numbers are concerned, and hear it from the kids and their faces and their parents, and then obviously it's all worthwhile.
So ultimately, beyond the numbers, the success stories as those graduates go on into our community and tying that together.
That's right.
Well, Dr. Sachetta, I'd like to thank you very much for visiting with us today, providing some information for our audience.
Oh, thank you very much. Pleased to be here.
You're welcome. And thank you, the viewers, for joining us this week on Newsmakers. I'm Judy Stiles. Hope you can join me again next week at the same time on this station. We'll see you then.